Hello everybody, and welcome to Skyward Sword. And
yeah, bomb bag.
I'm trying to throw a bomb.
Oops.
And apparently walked underneath the thing instead of picking the bomb up. Boom! There it goes.
Yay!
Now we can go in there and fight some dudes. I think in here are, yeah, just a couple of resolve fights. It's not really a big deal. On the other hand, mini boss. I love the music for this fight. I absolutely love it. Out of all the music in the game, this is one of my favorites. Ow. Like, I was making a Legend of Zelda fan game, and I actually used this music in it because I just loved it.
And you're going to die.
Not quite yet. I'm certainly close to dying. Alright, I have a vitalizing potion. That's all that matters. Oh shoot! Fight me!
It almost sounded like you said, bite me.
Nice! And we got a heart out of that.
Yay!
I wanted him to fight me! Because he was running away like a little coward that he is. Oh, admittedly, they did some pretty decent damage to me there. I had to use a freaking potion. Rather, I had to use my freaking potion on that one. Because I only had the one. Yay! We have bombs.
To be honest, when I play Legend of Zelda, well, just in Legend of Zelda, in general, I don't always use potions because usually I try to just use whatever I can in my surroundings for health because they're usually always in one of those jars or in the grass. Well, I keep one spare just in case, but usually for boss battles. The health potion, I mean. But yeah, generally in dungeons, I don't actually always need potions.
Yeah, I mean, for Legend of Zelda, you don't generally need potions in a Zelda game. Usually, like, you can get fairies and stuff and be just fine.
Yep.
So, that's what I usually do. I usually just grab fairies and stuff. Yay! We got some bombs.
I'm just kind of reminded, it kind of, you know, how we talk about how some people just don't, there are people who don't like games and others who do, right?
Yeah.
One of the games that I enjoyed is Mega Network Transmission, and I watched a video game reviewer who did particularly like the game at all because, well, like the bosses were really too tough, and for like the first boss was really tough, and then everyone else it was just simple.
Right.
Really, but to me, the first boss is only difficult if you're not if you aren't really ready for him. Like,
Yeah.
The first boss is extremely easy. Once you realize that who you're going up against, you can just grind until you get the item you need and go up against him again, and yeah, you can beat him like 2 swipes.
Right. There's a lot of games that are kind of weird about progression and how, like, difficult a game is, but how easy it also is and stuff like that. It's like...
in another problem this reviewer had was that you had to wait to get the certain stuff that you need, right? And I'm like, yeah, but sure you had to wait to get the items you need, but you're kind of cheating in a way because you're actually waiting for the items you need to come up.
Right.
Before you even do the battle.
Crap.
In actual, like, Mega Man Battle Network things, well, Mega Man Network Transmission is like a combined version of the original Mega Man and Mega Man Battle Network. In Mega Man Battle Network, you can't just wait around till you get the items you need and then battle. You just have to go in hopes of the chips you need just comes up.
Yeah. I mean, if you know what to do beforehand, that technically is cheating. So, it's like, oh yeah, I just know that I need this one specific item in order to beat the boss because, like, not... if the game tells you or something, that's not cheating, but, like, if it's because, like, you looked it up in a walkthrough or something, you're technically cheating when, you know that you need that, because your average player is going to not have any clue about that kind of stuff. They probably wouldn't even know that the item exists half the time.
Yep, and the problem was this reviewer, after the first boss, he basically sort of figure out everything that he needs before the next boss, and honestly, yeah, that... He was saying, like, how the second boss was extremely easy, but really, to me, no, he was a lot worse than the first boss.
Right.
It's like, oh, you didn't really need strategies, and I'm like, I've seen people beat these bosses using strategies before. It's possible to beat them without your just getting their weaknesses.
Right. I've seen some games that I don't like because instead of like giving you enemies and like giving them weaknesses and stuff like that, it's like all they do is just make you like hit them till they're dead kind of thing. It's like I don't like a lot of RPGs because most boss battles in RPGs end up devolving into just smack it with your sword until it's dead.
Yeah,
and so you don't do a lot of like strategizing and figuring out what you need and, you know, trying to actually like figure out what to do. It's like, you know, let's see, this is a level 28 boss, so I'll just be level 35, and then, you know, of course, you know,
sure, smack them without using the weaknesses or anything. Yeah. I don't like... Well, sometimes I had to do that in Pokemon because there's no Pokemon you can get in the area that will help you. Right. Or your team doesn't really... don't have really the weakness against that to boss. Right. But generally, yeah, you should be mostly alright if you know what you're doing. Yeah. Well, I mean, like... when there is no particular like weakness to a boss, it's just you walk in and you smack it till it dies kind of thing. I hate that. Yeah, a lot of RPGs, at least a lot of the ones that I've played, like there's no mechanic to a boss fight. Well, I don't like a lot of RPGs because there's no, there's no mechanics to boss fights. It's just here's a boss, and then you just sit there and you sit there and you smack it for 5 minutes and then it dies. And so, I've never really cared much for RPGs, and the few times I've made RPGs I really didn't care to play them or test them because
I couldn't really figure out how to make a boss with like a mechanic, so I just did the same thing everybody else does with their RPGs. But I've always really disliked the idea of just walk in and smack the boss until it dies. There's actually a game called Legend of Legaia. It's a martial arts type game, but it's not like Street Fighter, but it's like you have combos, but it's not like you sit there and use combos or anything. Like you don't sit there and push like A, B, right, left, diagonal, but you input combos because it is an RPG. And so you input like up, down, up, which I remember immediately off the top of my head because the game ingrains that one into your mind by every character having that one. But that creates a combo, and you use that as opposed to just walking in and dealing a significant amount of damage. The game's entire focus is on using your combos in the right way, so that when you still have to deal X amount of damage because it is an RPG, but it's like instead of jumping in and you have to sit there and deal 15,000 points of damage just by swinging your sword and just by hitting the attack button, I should say. It's like you can deal 15,000 damage by just hitting the attack button, or you can use all of these different combos and things so that you get all kinds of extra things that you can do that deal extra damage. And then the game rewards you by having you go through the game and try to find all of these secret martial arts moves, so that when you get to the end of the game, you're performing 8 or 9 move combos, but you're also dealing frickin' insane amounts of damage. And the best part is each combo has its own element, so you can constantly be changing it up. And you can perform a combo inside of a combo, and so you can do up, down, up, but then also add in another down, up, and do the same move twice instead of having to put in the same thing 6 times. It's really cool how they do that. I do not know where I'm trying to go. I know where I'm trying to go, but I don't remember how to get over there. It's the thing I have to bomb, but I cannot figure out what it is.
Unfortunately, there are few Final Fantasy games where you just keep on pressing the same button over and over just to attack until the enemy is dead.
Right.
I think Final Fantasy X did this because it's just attack button over and over and over. Okay, dead.
Yeah. I mean, I liked Final Fantasy X over any of the other Final Fantasies that I've played. But my biggest complaint with 10, and really my biggest complaint with almost all of the Final Fantasy games that I've played, is the fact that you hit the attack button.
That's it.
It's there's no hidden combos. There's no secret moves. It's, every once in a while you might use a skill, Tidus might throw up a haste or something. Yuna might pull out a summon, but it really is still, you just sit there and mash the attack button on everything.
Yeah, that is also included in Final Fantasy VII. Most bosses is just attack, attack, attack. But I guess that's the reason why I kind of like Final Fantasy 14, because like when you get to the higher levels, you have to start doing combos, or you're not going to do as much damage as you want to.
Right. Well, that's one reason that I like MMOs really in general, is because of the fact that
you have to do combos and such.
MMOs have this view of, you know, there's so much to do, the world is so expansive, and so instead of hitting up, down, up, or hitting attack all the time, you're gonna go through and you're gonna hit, you know, let's say in the case of World of Warcraft, just because I can immediately rattle off a combo off the top of my head on that. You know, if you're playing a Warlock, it's first you start out by summoning one of your minions, depending on which minion you need. If you're in a dungeon, it's your Succubus. If you're by yourself, it's your Voidwalker, etc. So you summon your minion, because you're a Warlock. And then once you have your minion out, and that stays with you until it dies, you know, then you start doing combos like, for example, you know, throw out an Immolate, followed by a Conflagrate, followed by 3 Incinerates, you know? And yeah, so, you know, you do still end up repeating the combo a lot. You know, you do your Incinerate followed by your Conflagrate, or what? Yeah, it is Incinerate followed by it's Immolate followed by 3 Incinerates followed by a Conflagrate. Not that really honestly truly matters, but the point is though is that you still don't just mash one button over and over again until you get somewhere. You know, you're not sitting there dealing, you know, hitting the attack button, you know, until you kill the thing with the occasional potion. It's, yeah, you hit Incinerate followed by Conflagrate, or Immolate followed by Incinerate followed by Conflagrate, but while you're doing all of that, you are running around the whole freaking massive map field that you're on, trying to avoid getting hit by, I don't know, Sapphiron's freaking ice breath or something. Trying to not get sliced in half by the Lich King's Frostmourne, you know, something along those lines. And so you're moving around constantly, and you're avoiding attacks constantly, and it makes it, you know, feel like you're doing something, as opposed to, like, let's say Pokemon, where you, in the first round, you select a move, and you just mash the A button after that, you know? It's, it's part of the reason I just don't play MMOs, is because I just don't find much in the way of enjoying, or not MMOs, but RPGs. I just don't find much in the way of enjoyment from them, because most of them you just mash a button, you know. On the other hand, I will tell you that games like, you know, Kingdom Hearts, where it's, you know, the action battle system, and you're constantly moving around and you're mashing the reaction commands, and, you know, using 2 keyblades at a time, and, you know, that gets fun. So I really cannot figure out where the heck I'm supposed to be going.
I'm pretty sure you're supposed to pump something.
Yeah.
Usually usually you could tell what you had to bomb with cracks.
Yeah, but there hasn't been anything to bomb. I've actually been looking for something to bomb. I've literally not found any bombable surfaces anywhere. And I know that I have to bomb something. And I'm sitting here going, I know that whatever the trick to this is, there's a bombable surface somewhere, and that's what I have to do. But I am literally not seeing one.
Yeah, just to say, When I play Skyward Sword, again, I only use the walkthrough to find all the goddess chests and such like that.
Right.
So I was able to figure this area out on my own without a walkthrough, and I can't remember where she bombed.
Yeah. When I played through this, like, I couldn't even figure out how to get over to the one that I've already pushed. I couldn't figure that out. But the first time I played through this, I got to the bombable thing, bombed it, and kept moving on. This time, I cannot figure out what in the world I'm supposed to be doing.
Is it that thing, or... I don't know. Well, anyways, I do enjoy, battles where it's based on strategy, and that's one of the reasons why I love Mega Man Battle Network, this series, because it's focused on...
Found it. Or not. Oh no, wait, I did.
Jeez! Right?
Wow.
You have to look at that wall.
So we will continue this conversation in the next episode. Now that we've finally figured out this stupid wall thing. So if you've been enjoying, please feel free to subscribe. Feel free to leave a like. Check out our Patreon and check out Mia's channel. And I will see everybody in the next episode. Keep calm and paniano, friend. Oh, shoot.
See you next time.